Moby Max is a tool that teachers can use in their classroom to help differentiate instruction for students. So as soon as you sign up, you want to register your classes. You can click on the registration tool, roster, and you're going to click on register new student, and you can select your grade level. You can put in student ID number, their name. You can create a specific username and password for that student so that they can log on at home or in the classroom, and then you register them. Okay. You can register, like I just did, one student at a time, or you could register students in bulk or import a list of students. You can also use that list of students to create groups if students are struggling with the same material. You can share your student list or transfer them to other classes if they move to a different classroom or they go with a different teacher for a different subject. You can transfer them to that teacher's class as well, or share them with that teacher. After you register students, you can assign them diagnostic tests to see where they place in each subject. And after they take the diagnostic test, Moby Max will come up with a list of lessons that they feel that student needs. So, for example, obviously the student is one that I just created, so it's not in there. But if we would click on placement test, we would be able to see exactly where that student placed in math, since this is the subject that I clicked on. And then you would be able to see exactly what lessons Moby Max thinks should be assigned, or ones that were already completed, the sequence of the lessons that are going to be assigned. And in the assigned category, you can also give the students additional lessons or take away lessons as you feel, as you see fit. You can also assign the students additional assessments. If you think that's something they need, you can go to assign new test. First you have to select the student, and then you can assign them a new test. So it can be based on their grade level, a certain standard, a certain skill, or on a previous test that they took that they didn't pass. Same thing with lessons. If we go back and we click on the student, you can assign new lessons or do a sequence of lessons based on, again, standards or a specific skill that you think they need work on. Moby Max is also cool because you can set goals along with just being able to check the student's progress. You can assess and set weekly and monthly goals for the students. You can also set specific IEP goals, which would be a great tool to use if you have students who are in the RTI process or students who currently have an IEP, and this would be a really great way to monitor their progress. Okay, there's also a library of resources for each subject, so you can go through and kind of see what lessons there are in that subject and how it changes from grade level to grade level. Okay. Aside from the subjects and lessons, there are also a lot of classroom tools. We already used one to register our student, but there are also curriculum settings, so you can change it for whatever state you live in and the standards that that state has. So you can change the different curriculum settings to grade level, the passing score, the modules that you want your students to study. You can set how much time the students spend on each activity. and you can kind of check in and see how long it took them to perform a task, or any alerts that it told them, hey, maybe you're going too fast, that they missed, or things like that. You can also, like I said earlier, assign times for the students to work on a certain task. There are whiteboard activities, worksheets, and student response systems that you can actually use in the classroom while the students are doing their individual lessons, or you can use it for a class lesson. There's a wall so students can communicate with you and with each other, and say they were working on it at home. If parents have a question, they could post it to the wall. You could take a poll for students to test their knowledge of a specific skill if you had a group working on something. Or they can send you a private message if it's something that they were struggling with themselves. It also has a great section of motivational tools. So as students are working, you can give them a game to play. So currently they start out with 5 minutes of gameplay, but then as they work, you can set, if they get 100% on 3 lessons in a row, they get an additional 5 minutes, or things like that. So that's pretty interesting. And you can also give the students badges. This section you can actually create contests for students. So I can create a contest and name it, and then students can compete against each other within your classroom to try and meet that specific contest goal. You can also create school-wide contests, which is interesting. So if you have more than one teacher working in Moby Max, you can have the classes compete against each other. So overall, Moby Max would be a really great tool to use in the classroom. As you can see, it's got all different subjects, fluency facts, and a lot of great classroom resources and tools.